So I'm so excited to introduce you today to Laine MacCulloch. So some of the flower lovers and graduates of Bloom College would already know Laine because they will have studied with her. So Laine completed our career change course back in 2016.
Yes.
Yes, so you did the full-time version.
Yep.
So welcome.
Thank you.
This is a segment that we call Bloom Conversations, and so it's a part of Bloom TV, but it's essentially where we get out and we get to meet florists and graduates like yourself and hear a bit more about your story, and which I know everyone's going to be excited to know about, because what we know and have discovered about so many within the community is part of their dream is to not just have a flower business, but to actually have a retail flower space, which is what you've created here in Essendon. So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
And I understand that it wasn't part of your initial dreams and goals, so we're going to talk and delve into that a little bit.
Yep.
And I just wanted to congratulate you on that though, because one of the things that a lot of people I find don't do successfully is that they don't flex and move. So they get set on one goal and then opportunities arrive, they knock out those opportunities because it's not part of their initial plan. So congratulations on doing that, in taking up the opportunity that was put forward to you and running with it.
Thank you.
So let's take a look at your initial plans around floristry.
Yep.
Firstly, what were you doing before floristry?
Yep.
And then during study?
Yep.
And then the transition from there.
Okay. So I was previously a corporate tax advisor. I worked for KPMG and also a hedge fund in London for a period of about 13 years. Whilst I was in London, before I moved back to Australia, I did a short course in floristry with one of the old school teachers over there called Yvette.
Yes.
And that, it was fabulous. It was in a beautiful little muse development right in the centre of London, and that got the creative juices flowing, and that's where my passion started. Although my mum actually owned a florist shop 20 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, so I did grow up a little bit
That's
in a
so
florist shop as
great.
well. But yeah, came back to Australia, actually went back to corporate tax advisory for a while. Prior to that, worked in a florist in Mayfair for about 6 weeks. Retail, very busy.
Lovely.
Hated it.
Yeah.
Wasn't for me. And then decided to make the full change and enrolled in the full-time course. Actually went back to KPMG again for a little bit.
Yep.
And then finally left there and did a period of about 3 months, a couple of days a week with Thrive, with Alyssa and Rosie.
Yep. Which is predominantly weddings and events.
Predominantly weddings and events, which after hating retail floristry in Mayfair was where I thought I wanted to go.
Yes.
And then loved it with Alyssa and Rosie, but didn't think that I wanted to commit my weekends the way that they do.
Sure.
So hence now being in a retail shop in the middle of Essendon.
How fabulous.
Yeah.
And I guess all of the things and the aspects of the retail part at Mayfair that you didn't enjoy,
Yep.
have you looked at that list and thought, well, okay, some of it's changeable, and so I'll now change that within my business so that those things aren't an annoyance?
Yeah. Yeah. So the things that I didn't like there, really pokey shop, no room to move.
Yep.
Very, very busy shop where it was just get it out and not about customer service and building relationships. It was across the road from Claridge's Hotel.
Sure.
Just a really, look, it's not that I don't like high pressure. I worked at corporate tax advisory, but it wasn't the way that I wanted to do retail floristry. It wasn't about being a business member in the community.
Sure.
It was big business basically.
Yeah.
And just retail floristry. There was no weddings and or any funerals or anything like that.
Okay.
It was just bouquets out the door and events around London.
Okay, sure. Yeah.
So by coming to somewhere a little bit more community based in Essendon, not in the middle of Collins Street in the city, it's a little bit cruisier. I know all my customers by first name. There's all of that repeat business rather than just passing traffic and
sure.
Yeah, I just feel like the little florist on
Yeah.
the high street.
That's
yeah.
so great.
Yeah.
And so, Floral Accent was an existing business. The
Yep.
opportunity came about for it that it was available to buy.
Yep.
And how long had it been in existence for prior to you purchasing it?
So there has been a florist on this site for 20 years.
Yep.
It was previously called Scented Florist. It's been called Floral Accent for the last 7 years.
Sure.
And is with that owner for 7 years.
Okay.
And it had been for sale for only a couple of months, I think.
Sure.
So yeah, it's been here for 20 years and in its current sort of more modern day Form 7.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Great. And you've just transformed it, I understand.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. There used to be a fridge behind us.
Yeah.
And chalkboard and some horrible green paint
wow.
from the old Scented Forest days. It was very foresty.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, made more room and put my own touch in it. Kept the logo, but changed the colours. It was all black and white and pink, which wasn't very contemporary.
Yep.
But yeah, nothing fundamental. Yeah.
Sure. Okay, terrific. And what about other aspects of the business in changing that? As in new clientele, or maybe bringing old clientele back?
Yep.
That type of, I guess the marketing
Yep.
of the business as well. Have you changed the way that was previously done?
Yeah, so the fundamental thing that I've changed in that respect is online presence.
Yep.
They had a website, but there was no online ordering.
Oh, okay,
No
so
shopping
it wasn't
cart.
a site.
No e-commerce site.
Okay.
And the website itself was very dated and not very functional.
Yep.
So I started from scratch and built that myself.
Yeah, well done.
Over a period of a couple of weeks and a few wines.
Yeah.
And so now I've got my online shop.
That's
and
fabulous.
Yeah, I think probably 50% of my orders now come through online, and
That's
the other
so
50% is on the phone. So
terrific.
yeah.
So you're already seeing an increase in sales and numbers from what it was prior to you taking it over?
Yeah, look, it's always hard. I think that's one aspect of buying somebody else's business, that you have to trust the figures, but I think approach them with sort of skepticism.
Sure.
I did have 3 years worth of P&L, and it had been declining rapidly for 3 or 4 years.
Yep.
Which was probably a scary prospect, but from what I can see, we're up to where it was again 4 years ago, and that's got to be online, because that's how people are buying flowers these days.
That's it, absolutely. Yeah, bringing in that online presence is just so important, and Instagram as you've done as well. So, well done. That's great. Really good.
Thank you.
And so, I guess going into it, you would have had, some set of, fear or trepidation, which is natural for anything. And yet, I know some people, they'll have those fears, and then when they're in it, there was actually no reasoning around it, because nothing of that has actually come to form.
Yep.
Although, having said that, there will be other things that occur that they didn't expect. Have there been things that have occurred that you didn't expect, that have been negatives, that have been, or challenges to have to overcome?
Yeah, probably not from a floristry sense though. It's more just running your own business. Yeah, cash is king. Cash flow. The stress of that is that's probably the one thing I just wasn't prepared for.
Sure.
I've had somebody paying my wage for the last 13 years. And having to pay myself and other people, and suppliers and all of that sort of stuff, when brides are booked in with you, but they don't have to pay their bills for 6 months and all that sort of stuff. It's really frustrating to know this cash is coming in, but I don't have it at the moment. So that would be the only thing that keeps me up at night.
Sure.
On the floristry side, I think probably I had maybe a small intrepidation that, oh my God, am I going to be able to make a beautiful bouquet in 10 minutes while somebody's here watching me?
Yeah.
Well, of course I can, because I was trained well. But you do it a couple of times, and you know you can do it.
That's great. So those sorts of fears are easily overcome. But cash flow is for anyone and in any business, as you say. And it's one of those ongoing things. So there's definitely ways that you can, and I've got some advice for you around what you can do to help with that, and so that you can sleep well at night every night. Knowing that literally when you come in this door, that the lights are paid for, the water, the rent, the everything, it's all covered. And even you've got a buffer for yourself to take home. So that then everything else that comes in, the brides, the day-to-day orders, that's just all on top.
Yeah.
So we'll go through that together. And that'll be something you can start working on if you wish to overcome that. Yeah, because I do find, so you're certainly not alone, that it's one of the big ones for everyone. And for some people, unfortunately, it's what will push them out the door as well. So apart from the fear of having to expand and grow and get into the tech world of business that's necessary now. There's a lot of florists who are so scared of that, and that pushes them out, and they'll sell their business for that reason. Another reason is that they just are sick of trying to chase their tail and worrying about the overheads all the time. They don't want that stress anymore, and they feel like they're just not getting a return on their investment. So there's definitely ways, and we'll talk through those, how you can do that. And any other things that I guess have been like a nice surprise that you've enjoying that you maybe didn't expect? Definitely having a retail store, isn't it? Like you didn't expect.
I didn't expect that. No, I did not expect to be getting up at a godly hour 3 times a week and going to market because I've got a retail store to stock. I expected to be getting up once. But that's okay. I actually enjoy that. Actually, that's a surprise. I really enjoy going to market.
Good.
I love it. I love it. I don't always go out to Epping. I go to Santos a lot. They're lovely there. But I enjoy that whole experience. It's not a chore for me.
Excellent. That's terrific. That's wonderful. Very good. And you've got a good community feel around here?
Yeah. So it's an older area of Essendon in terms of demographic, but it's starting to become younger. There's a lot of younger people moving in.
There's a lot of primary schools.
I've got the popular one is just 50 metres up the road. There's a big high school just around the corner.
Great.
And then we've got 4 hairdressers and a great cafe and the fish and chip shop and the skin clinic, and there's another skin clinic up the road and a wedding dress shop that's coming in shortly. So
that's so
nice
good
energy there. But it's a nice community feel. I know all of the other traders. We all look after each other. We're all going off to a women in business lunch in a couple of weeks' time.
Wonderful.
So it's a nice community.
That's really good, and it's definitely something that I suggest is to anyone, even if you're not in a retail business. But to know the other businesses within your area and to connect with them. So that's great. That's great. You're going to that event together.
And I'm doing the flowers for it as well.
Perfect.
Fantastic.
That's so good.
Because
business is so much about relationships. As you would have known by all your years of experience with KPMG, and it's just about forming those relationships, isn't it? Because people may not think about buying flowers too regularly, but when they do think about buying flowers, they want you want them to think of either you as Laine or your business name. Either one, you want those names to be the first names in their mind when they think of flowers. And so that's not going to happen if the relationships aren't being built. So that's terrific.
Yeah, I think that's something I learnt from KPMG as well. We were always told all of the other big accounting firms can do exactly what we're doing. We've all got the same products, we've all got the same services, and I think so you want them to come to you for you and the relationship you have.
So true.
And so yes, okay, Woolies and Coles don't have the same flowers, but there are plenty of other florists in the area who go to the same market that I do, and by and large as nice a florist as I am, or I like to think I am. But it's about the relationship.
Absolutely, so true. Yeah, brilliant. It's excellent. So let's get into another way that you can diversify and create a really good little viable option that will pay all of your overheads without relying on bribes or who's about to come in the door or who's about to put an order through the website or who's about to call you and place an order. So all of that will just be happy and great to do. So being in this particular area that I see that you're in, I would suggest we look at subscription floristry if you haven't already. But I would also be looking at some corporates as well, to a lesser extent corporates, but definitely some, and very much the subscription-based floristry. So I know that there's a number of people in the industry at the moment that are saying, there's too many out there doing it, it's overdone, and the market's saturated. I don't agree with that. I actually think it's still an untapped market, and that there are also some areas of it that may already be tapped into but could be expanded upon. And what I mean by that is that the offering to them is more than just a bunch of flowers.
Yeah.
And so, it may be an arrangement, it may be, the full vase, or it may be multiples.
Yep.
It may be a table centerpiece for people who entertain frequently.
Yep.
Whatever it may be, it's about finding the need of that customer.
Yep.
As instead of just, here's the offering and it stops at that. So
Yep.
allowing some more flexibility for customers to choose a wider range.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, more difficult to manage a wider range.
Yep.
But it's more of a boutique feel.
Yep.
And so it means that you may have less customers.
Yep.
But you're offering them more, and it, generally it's going to be at a higher price as well.
Yep.
So that would be my suggestion.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll take you through the whole marketing process around that.
Okay.
And we'll do that separately. So you'll get to see that as well, but we'll do that separately.
Okay.
All right. Okay.
Okay.
So thank you so much
You're
for
welcome.
having me here.
Thank you for
And,
coming in. Lovely to see you.
Getting us to learn more about your business and your experience through it, and it's just fabulous. And I'm going to let you get that phone.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay.